I'm going to show you how to adjust the settings on your baitcaster. For each lure, you have to readjust the settings each time because the lures have different weights, and there are two components that go into having the settings right for your baitcaster. There is the brake and the line tension, also known as the fall rate. The fall rate is adjusted to each specific lure before you start casting, and then the brake is what slows the spool down after you cast it. And so the brake can be adjusted to your preference, but the fall rate must be adjusted to the specific lure that you're using. So for the example that we have here, I just have on this red chatterbait. Now, if we have the spool way too loose, as I'm going to show you right here, I'm going to drop it, let the lure hit the ground, and as you can see, there is some birds nesting going on. So we're going to go ahead and pull this out. I'm going to show you how to get the line tension correct for each lure. You want to turn the brake up to max before you start this. Just put it on max. Now we're going to reel in this line that we have out. And what you want to do is start with the line tension a little bit tight. And what you're going to do is you're going to drop the lure from about chest level, let it hit the ground. And as you can see, there's no bird's nest. What you want to do is adjust it just right. We're going to loosen it up a little bit, and then drop it from chest level again, let it hit the ground. Keep doing this until you can get it the least amount of tension possible without it bird's nesting. As you can see, it bird's nested right there. I'm going to pull that out, and then we're going to tighten this up a little bit. It's going to keep doing this until we can drop it and get no bird's nest. Right about there looks good. And now that you have your fall tension set, you can go ahead and set the brake. This ultimately is a matter of preference and the quality of your reel. I generally back mine 6 clicks down from max, which looks to be at setting 9 for casting it normally. So as you can see, we can go ahead and cast it now. It hit the water and there is no bird's nest, as you can see. So now we're going to go ahead and bring it back. And that is the correct setting for casting. Now, if you want to be able to flip, this ultimately comes down to a matter of preference too, but I like to take the brake from 6 clicks down from max. I like to then back it down 8 more clicks for when I want to flip. And then now, with the brake at the correct setting, I can go ahead and flip my lure. And as you can see, no bird's nesting. Now, one thing you do want to keep in mind once you're done flipping, if you want to cast it again, you have to go ahead and reset the brake back to where you had it before. Because if you have the brake loose for the setting you had when you were flipping it, if you cast it, you're probably going to end up bird's nesting. What a lot of pros do is they actually turn the brake the whole way down to minimum, and then when they cast it, they stop it with their thumb. Now, some people might not enjoy doing this. It's ultimately a matter of preference. So if you don't want to have to stop it with your thumb every time, you can put the brake at the settings that I just showed you. And ultimately, it just is a matter of practice and a matter of preference. You don't have to do it exactly the way I did it, but you will just want to be able to find the way that works best for you, and you'll eventually learn that over time the more you practice with your baitcaster. And then just the last point that I would like to make is that each lure weighs different, and the fall rate is adjusted based off the weight of the lure. And so if you change lures, you're going to want to redo the fall rate at the very beginning, just like I showed you with every new lure. Now, granted, if you use the exact same lure but with a different color, they're going to weigh the same, so you can get away without changing the fall rate there. But you are going to want to change that every time you put on a new lure, and that's how you get your settings just right for a baitcaster.